Welcome back to For Your Heart and Home, and welcome if you're new. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. In today's video, I will be sharing 4 easy desserts that I will be offering my guests for Thanksgiving dessert this year. I will have links to all these recipes listed in my description box. I will also place them on the screen if you'd like to screenshot the video. I will start with a classic American apple pie. I'm going to start by making the crust, and then I'm going to place it in my refrigerator to have it chill just for a short while. While it's chilling, I'm going to make the filling for the apple pie so that when I pull it out of the refrigerator, I can roll it out, fill it, and pop it into my oven. This is a simple pie crust recipe. I did not grow up making pies, and this was something that I've learned to make over several years since my husband loves eating pies. And this is a very simple recipe, easy to follow. So if you're a beginner or if you're not very confident with pie making, this is definitely something you can try. So I'm going to take my flour and all my additives with my butter, and I'm going to cut in the butter into the flour. Just remember, when you're working with butter, the more you handle it, the warmer it gets and the more likely it will melt. So you want to use cold butter to make this pie crust, and you want to get it into the refrigerator so that it can stay cool. You also want to use cold water to pull the dough together, because again, we want to keep that butter cold so that it doesn't just melt into the flour.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild.
When I feel like my dough has come together nicely, I'm going to transfer it to a plastic bag into the refrigerator so that it can chill for 20 to 30 minutes. If you're making this ahead of time, because this is a good make ahead of time dessert, you can freeze this dough. This is an easy to make butter dough, and you can refrigerate it for 20 to 30 minutes before baking your pie, or you can freeze this in a disc shape, and on the day when you're going to bake the pie, pull it from the freezer, bring it back to temperature, roll it out, and go ahead and proceed with all of the steps.
The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild.
So while my pie crust is in the refrigerator, I am going to put all the ingredients together to create the filling. I have already diced my apples. You can also add pears into this mix. You can slice them if you want to, or you can just dice them like I did in this example. Either way, it works out fine. The apples will cook down anyway and create that nice ooey gooey center. So on the stove, I have combined all of these ingredients to create a coating for the apples. I'm going to pour that coating over the apples. I'm going to stir that in so that the apples are nice and fully coated so that I can put this into my pie as the filling. As I've stated in previous videos, I didn't grow up eating pies, and so it's not my favorite dessert. And so I only make the pies that my husband enjoys eating, and he loves apple pies. He loves fruit pies, I should say. This apple pie is tasty and it's so easy to make. Again, if you are not confident as a pie maker, this is something you can definitely give a try. Now I've gotten all the ingredients together. I've combined them well. So now I'm going to roll out my pie crust. Guys, you know around here we do not skimp on butter. If you want your crust to have that nice golden look and you don't want it to stick to your pie dish, you better lather on that butter. So here I am making sure I coat my pie dish well, and now I'm going to roll out my pie dough. So the amount of dough that I made with this recipe is going to give me 2 crusts. It's going to give me a bottom crust, then I'm going to fill that, and I'm going to have a top crust. So I took my pie dough, I divided it in 2. I'm going to roll out the first part so I can create that bottom crust, fill it, and then I'm going to put the top crust on. Once I feel like my crust is thin enough, I'm going to roll it on my rolling pin and slowly place it on top of my pie dish so that I can get it in as the bottom crust. This is not going to be perfect. Again, I am not a perfect pie maker. I'm just making it as best I can, and you know around here we keep it rustic. At the end of the day, we are aiming for flavor. And yes, presentation is important, but flavor comes first. So I'm going to do my best to get this pie crust into my pie dish, and then I'm going to fill it. I like to score the bottom of my pie crust to give it an opportunity to breathe once it's in the oven. So here's a picture of the finished product. Whenever you make apple pie, you are going to need some fresh ice cream to go with it. So for sure, I had to serve it with some ice cream. And I'm going to show you how I created that ice cream in this clip. So anytime we have any get-togethers, I always try to make sure that we have some fresh vanilla ice cream on hand. For those who want pie, they can get some ice cream to go with that. And for others who just want ice cream, they can have that. But I'm going to show you how I make ice cream at home. I do have a Cuisinart ice cream machine. All I have to do is put all the ingredients in a bowl, mix them together, and the machine does the rest of the work. It takes about 25 minutes to churn all the ingredients together. It comes out as a soft serve style ice cream. Then I transfer that to containers and then I put that in my freezer to harden. So you want to do this maybe a day or two ahead of time to give the freezer time to harden the ice cream to the consistency that you like. If you prefer softer serve ice cream, then by all means you can do it the day of and serve it as such as well. Again, this is very simple. I just have to measure out the ingredients, put them together, and the machine does the rest of the work. All right, all my ingredients are mixed together. I'm gonna put this in my machine and then I'm going to move on to the next part. It's been about 25 minutes. My machine has gone off and now I'm going to take this fresh ice cream that I've made and I'm going to turn it into two separate desserts. I'm going to be making a graham cracker crust ice cream pie and I'm just going to make a tub of vanilla ice cream. So this batch of ice cream gave me approximately 1 gallon of ice cream. I am going to take half of it and put it in a container for those who want vanilla ice cream, and then I'll take the other half and create a graham cracker crust ice cream pie. So I'm just going to pour half of the ice cream into the pie crust, and then I'm going to top that with chunks of chocolate chips, as well as some peanut butter chips. Pop on the top, put it in the freezer, and the dessert is done. I like simple, I like clean, I like limited ingredients, and I like to do this a day or two ahead of time so that on the day of the event, all of these things are already taken care of. So now I'm gonna add all the fun toppings, the chunks of chocolate, the chocolate chips, and the peanut butter chips. This is a dessert that we enjoy over and over again, and I love that you can tailor it to whatever you really have on hand. And so this is something I like to serve, especially when we have guests over, because it's quick, it's simple, and it's always a hit. So I have my ice cream pie done, and I have my tub of ice cream for anybody who needs ice cream to go with their pie. So the next thing I'm working on is a 3-layered chocolate cake. I only bake chocolate cake maybe a few times per year, but it's always a hit and we always look forward to it. And I love putting in that extra effort to make something I know my family will enjoy. I'm making this with freshly milled flour, so you have the option to use all-purpose flour or freshly milled flour. I'm using 100% hard white wheat to make this. And again, all the instructions, the ingredients list, the recipe will be in the description box, so feel free to check that so that you can substitute as necessary if you're going to be making this. But this chocolate cake is so simple to make. I absolutely love it, and I've been making it for years. And so this is something that I come back to time and time again. This is a cake that can be made with eggs, or you can use a flaxseed egg. In this case, I'm using a flaxseed egg to make this cake. It turned out beautifully. You wouldn't even be able to tell that there was flaxseed in it, but I love the added nutrition that comes with using the flaxseed in place of the egg in this case. So I'm just gonna mill my flour, get all my ingredients together in one bowl, which I love, and then I'm going to divide it into 3 dishes and get them into my oven. So one thing I encourage anyone to do who's on this scratch cooking journey is to slowly build up a well-stocked pantry. A well-stocked pantry has all the essentials and they are easily acquired when you buy them in bulk. Now, you might not be able to bulk buy every single ingredient you need right away, but when you can, you buy an extra bag of flour or an extra bag of sugar and you put that aside. It's just little things like that, one extra item each week until you start building your stash. And one way to build a well-stocked pantry is to buy groceries in bulk. Now, if you're looking for groceries and you would like to buy them in bulk, one option is to use Azure Standard. Now, Azure Standard is a co-op based grocery option where you will join a co-op in your area. You and a group of families who have joined this co-op will place your orders on a monthly basis, and once a month you can go and pick up the order that you have placed. You also have the option to have your groceries delivered to your door for an additional charge. So if you're looking for well-priced, high-quality pantry staples, you can try Azure Standard. Azure Standard is a wonderful outlet if you're interested in buying anything in bulk. You have the option to join a co-op or you can have your items shipped to your door. Feel free to find out more about Azure Standard using the link in my description box. They will explain everything for you on their website. I love using Azure Standard because they offer high quality, low cost options for pantry staples that I rely on time and time again. So I'm going to get my pans ready for this cake. I'm going to butter the pans as well as put a piece of parchment paper on the bottom just as an extra security to ensure that they fall right out of the pan once they have baked. I am going to divide this batter into 3, which means that they're going to bake up quickly, and that's going to make it easier for me to put this cake together. So now that I have divided it and put it in all three, I'm going to pop it into my oven. While my cakes are baking in the oven, I am going to be working on a very simple buttercream frosting to go on this cake. Again, if you're not a confident baker, if you don't make cakes on a regular basis, this is a very simple recipe. It comes together beautifully, it comes together quickly, and it tastes phenomenally. I am going to double this frosting recipe so that I can have enough for this crumb coat as well as a second layer of frosting once the crumb coat has hardened. As you can see, this frosting came together quickly. It tastes amazing. And now I'm going to transfer it to a container until I need it. It's been several hours. My cakes have baked. They have been taken out of the oven, and I allowed them to cool for several hours so that when I go to frost them, they will not fall apart. Again, I am no professional at cake decorating. I am just doing this for family and friends, but this is something that I really enjoy and it's soothing to me. And each time I make something like this, I feel like I get better and better. And don't forget, flavor over presentation all the time. So I'm just going to take a small amount of frosting and I'm going to put it in between each of my layers. I'm going to stack it at best that I can. Then I'm going to do a crumb coat. After that, I'm going to put it in my refrigerator so that it can cool for several hours. Again, I want that crumb coat to harden onto the cake. I also want to make sure that the interior of my cake is completely cool because that's the best way to apply the frosting. You don't want to spend a lot of time making this cake only to have it fall apart because you got impatient or you did not give yourself enough time to make it and it's too warm to frost. If you want to ensure that your cake is still moist on the day of your event, don't forget to put simple syrup on each of your layers of your cake. I will put a link in the description box that explains fully how to make simple syrup. And so what I will do is drizzle on some simple syrup on each layer as I am building this cake so that the cake retains its moisture and doesn't dry out because nobody wants dry cake. So make sure you put the simple syrup on your layers. Make sure that your cake is fully cooled when you frost it. And do it a day or two ahead of time so that on the day of Thanksgiving, you're not running around frantic trying to get everything all done. The simple syrup you'll see is in the red bottle, and that's what I'm drizzling on my layers as I'm building this cake. So I have finished the crumb coat. It doesn't have to look perfect, it's the crumb coat. And then I'm going to put this in my refrigerator for a few hours so that it can harden. Now it's been in my refrigerator for a few hours, and now it's time to put on my second layer. If you do this well, you'll see that you can add your second layer perfectly. Your crumb coat won't be sliding all over the place, and you can get a nice even coat all the way around. Now I'm going to keep this cake simple, but you can decorate it however way you want after this. You can buy cake toppers, you can use cookies, you can use whatever you want, but I'm keeping it simple for this occasion. So as I finish up this cake, I want to take a few minutes to thank you for being here. If you're looking for an alternative to buying groceries and you would like to buy groceries in bulk, check out my affiliate link in the description box for Azure Standard. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section down below. As we get ready to kick off this holiday season with Thanksgiving, I want to wish you and your family all the best, and thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Included in the description box will be all the recipes that I used for today's video. Additionally, I will include the recipes that are on my blog, so I'll leave that link there as well. I will also leave the link to my new cookbook. It is perfect for the holiday season for beginning cooks or anyone who's interested in learning how I do things in my kitchen and who are interested in some of these recipes that I have used. Again, feel free to check the description box for all the information that I have used in this video. Leave a comment, let me know what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you hosting, or are you going to someone's home for the day? Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you so much for being here. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.